Good evening, everyone. We have, for far too long, misunderstood the role of leadership. We have imagined the leader as a figure of control, a master of decisions, a wielder of power. Ladies and gentlemen, leadership is not a formula, it is an art. It is not about control but about guidance, not about power but about understanding. A true leader does not force people forward but creates an environment where they wish to move forward. The real job of a leader is not to dictate but to inspire, not to command but to listen. The best leaders do not walk ahead shouting orders, they walk among their people, learning, adapting, and growing together. Leadership is often mistaken for authority, as though it is merely a title that grants the power to make decisions. But a title alone does not make one a leader, nor does power guarantee respect. The most influential leaders in history did not rely on their position to command obedience, they relied on their ability to inspire belief. Leadership is not about forcing compliance but about cultivating trust. It is about understanding people on a level that allows them to see a greater purpose within themselves. A leader's strength is not in their ability to make people obey but in their ability to make people believe. People do not follow leaders because they are ordered to, they follow because something within them is stirred, awakened, and empowered. A great leader does not impose a vision from above but ignites a shared purpose from within. They do not demand loyalty, but rather earn it by demonstrating integrity, wisdom, and compassion. Leadership, at its core, is not about telling people what to do but about making them feel capable of doing it on their own. Those who lead with authority alone often find that their influence is fragile. If people follow only out of obligation, they will abandon their cause the moment fear or pressure is removed. But those who lead by example, by authenticity, by a genuine desire to serve, create movements that last beyond their own presence. The greatest leaders do not see themselves as the architects of change, but as the catalysts sparking something greater than themselves. They understand that real leadership is not about personal ambition but about collective progress. The moment a leader believes they are the sole force driving progress, they have already lost their way. Leadership is not about standing alone at the top but about ensuring that others rise alongside you. It is about fostering an environment where everyone feels seen, heard, and valued. It is not about being the smartest person in the room but about surrounding oneself with people whose strengths complement one another. The best leaders are not those who seek personal credit but those who make sure that success is shared by all. True leadership is knowing when to lead, when to follow, and when to step aside. There are moments when a leader must step forward with courage and decisiveness, when they must provide direction in times of uncertainty. But there are also moments when a leader must have the humility to follow, to recognize that others have insights they do not. And perhaps the most overlooked but essential quality of a great leader is knowing when to step aside. Leadership is not about holding on to power indefinitely, it is about preparing others to take the reins. The best leaders do not create followers, so they create other leaders. To lead is to serve, to empower, to uplift. It is not about exerting control but about fostering freedom, or the freedom to think, to innovate, to grow. It is not about demanding respect but about earning it through actions, through wisdom, through a commitment to something greater than oneself. Leadership is an art, not a science, because it is fluid, ever-changing, and deeply human. Those who understand this do not lead with force but with presence, not with authority but with influence, not with fear but with inspiration. A true leader does not seek the spotlight but shines it on others. They do not build walls around their power but open doors for others to walk through. They do not measure success by how many people follow them but by how many people they have helped move forward. Leadership is not a destination, nor is it a position, no, it is a responsibility, one that must be carried with humility, wisdom, and a deep understanding of the people one serves. The world does not need more rulers, it needs more leaders, so those who walk with us, who believe in us, and who inspire us to believe in ourselves. We often imagine leadership as a position of control, a throne from which decisions shape the world. But the irony is this control is an illusion. The real job of a leader is not to impose but to harmonize, not to shape people to their will but to help them shape themselves. The misconception of leadership as dominance is deeply ingrained in human thinking. We have been conditioned to believe that a leader must always be in command, always dictating, always making decisions that others must follow. But reality does not work that way. People are not machines waiting for instructions. They are complex beings with their own ambitions, emotions, and desires. A leader who seeks to control people is like a sailor trying to command the sea. The sea does not listen to orders, and neither do people's true intentions. Instead, the wise leader learns to navigate, to work with the currents of human nature rather than against them. Leadership is not about forcing people into a predefined mold but about creating an environment where they naturally grow into their best selves. The more a leader tries to control, the more resistance they create. History has shown that the greatest leaders are not those who demand obedience but those who earn trust. They do not push people forward with force, but rather pull them forward with vision. They do not see leadership as a means of exerting power over others, but as a responsibility to bring out the best in those they serve. Some may believe that a leader must always have the final word, that they must bend the world to their vision. But this is a fundamental misunderstanding. True leadership is not about bending reality to fit a vision, but about aligning with reality to manifest a vision. A leader who fights against the natural flow of things will find themselves constantly struggling, meeting resistance at every turn. But a leader who understands the rhythm of people, who listens and adapts, will find that progress happens with far less friction. People do not respond well to control. They respond to understanding, to trust, to purpose. The best leaders are those who can guide without forcing, who can inspire without demanding. They recognize that leadership is not about holding the reins tighter, but about knowing when to let go. It is not about micromanaging every detail but about cultivating an environment where people take ownership of their own roles. When people feel a sense of autonomy and trust, they contribute more, innovate more, and grow more. The paradox of leadership is that the more one tries to control, the less effective they become. Those who lead by fear may achieve short-term obedience, but they will never earn long. True leadership is not about power or control but about service, inspiration, and trust. A real leader uplifts others, creates more leaders, and leads by example. The best leaders don't dictate the path, they illuminate it. Leadership is not about standing above people but standing with them, guiding, empowering, and inspiring. That is the real job of a leader. So if you seek to lead, do not seek control. Seek clarity. Seek understanding. Seek to remove fear, to create trust, to light the way not with orders, but with example. Because the real job of a leader is not to make others follow, it is to make them believe in themselves enough that they no longer need to be led. Thank you.